OK，Hello everyone，大家好，欢迎大家看我们 Learn with John 的第一个雅思口语直播。所以我们今天基本上要做3件事情。我们口语考试第一部分、第二部分和第三部分都要练习。我最重要的就是我要听你们回答这些问题，然后我要分析你们的回答，然后我也会提供我自己的回答。所以如果我要回答这些问题，我会说什么？然后我也要谈论一下，在谈论这些话题的时候，最多考生犯的错误是什么？所以要告诉大家，你最需要避免的一些错误是什么？也许有一些人都不知道我是谁。我的名字叫 John， 中文名字是约翰，我来自爱尔兰。我之前就在中国，在中国的时候，我当英语老师，然后当雅思考官，我也自学了中文。所以我在中国生活了6年，然后搬到西班牙。我去过很多国家，在很多不同的国家生活过，我也学会四门外语。今年就在学习日语。我已经不做雅思考官，但是我在微信有一个公众号，然后在那个公众号每个礼拜都发布跟准备雅思或者跟学习英语或者跟学习其他外语有关的文章，也有在哔哩哔哩也每个礼拜都发布视频。OK， 所以我希望今天有很多人举手。我们今天可以练习新的，就是1个礼拜之前发布的雅思话题，有 Part 1、Part 2、Part 3都有。OK， so for the first part, so our first topic, I don't want to tell you guys what the topic is. I want to get one brave student to volunteer, and then I want to hear one student answer all the questions from this first Part 1 topic. So if you're ready, if you want to try our first Part 1 topic, please volunteer, put up your hand, 举手。OK， 所以我不要提前告诉大家我们的话题是什么，因为在真正的考试，你回答问题的时候，你都不知道，你不会提前知道你的话题是什么，所以我希望这个过程会尽可能的自然。OK， 没有人举手吗？没有人想做我们 Learn with John 的第一个学生，第一个直播学生。OK， 我看到了。OK， so hello, we've got one student. See, I'm just turning on your microphone. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Yeah. What's your name?
Okay, thank you.
What's your name?
I have to? My Chinese name is Cai Yangfan.
Okay, you don't have an English name.
Yeah, I do have an English name. My English name is Francis.
Francis, very
and
good.
with ES.
Okay, I've got a cousin called Francis. Hey, Francis.
Wow.
Nice to talk to you.
Okay.
So let's do one part. Okay. I'm going to do one Part 1 topic with you, Francis. So you've got 4 questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Cool. Let's talk about sports. What sports did you play when you were a child?
Well, when I was a child, I usually played table tennis with my father because he used to be a professional table tennis player, and sometimes he will took me to swimming pool, so I learned swim with him too.
Very good. What's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport maybe jogging because it can help me keep fit, and it doesn't like table tennis. I need to get a bat, but as for jogging, what I need to do is put my sneaker and find somewhere suitable for running.
Thank you. Do you like to watch sports?
Well, actually, I don't like to watch sports shows because I think maybe boys like to watch sports shows like NBA, but I'm not interested in watching others play sport. I prefer play sport myself.
Why? Why?
Are you asking me? Okay. Why? Because I don't know. Because I think playing sports is kind of relaxing things and help me keep healthy. But watching sport just like watching movie or no, it's not like watching movie. It's just like something something people choose to kill time, not to help them keep fit.
Okay, thank you. Are you a fan of any sports teams?
Well, no, because I don't watch sport shows, so I'm quite unfamiliar with any teams.
Okay. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, and very good job. Well done, Francis. So you gave quite complete answers. So you answered every question quite logically and quite completely. So in the third question, I asked you why. And usually, probably in the exam, your examiner wouldn't have done it because you'd already given a complete answer. But just for fun, I asked you why. So well done. Those were good answers. And I want to highlight first a very good sentence that Francis used in her first answer. So Francis she got asked about sports and what sports did she play as a child, and she talked about table tennis, and she talked about her father, and she said he used to be a professional table tennis player. Okay, he used to be a professional table tennis player. Isn't that right, Francis? Isn't that what you said?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes,
no, that's a very good.
Right.
That's a very good sentence, because that's the type of thing that most students don't get right. The construction used to he used to be something, or I used to do something, that causes trouble for a lot of students. But Francis used that perfectly there. He used to be a professional table tennis player. So 意思就是他以前是一个专业的乒乓球员，但是已经不是，他以前是，现在就不是。So well done, Francis. That was good. Now,
thank you.
Let's see. A couple of points. A couple of little corrections. So one time you talked about jogging, and you said how you like jogging, and you wanted to say jogging 跟乒乓球不一样，那个跟乒乓球不一样, but you didn't quite say it right. Do you want to try it again? How would you say that sentence again?
Well, I don't know. I just improvise all the things. If you ask me to try it again, I will offer another answer.
Okay, so how would you say it? 所以如果你想说就是慢跑跟乒乓球不太一样, how would you say that?
Jogging is quite different from playing table tennis.
Okay, that's good. Well done. That's good. That's right. Because before you said it doesn't like table tennis. It doesn't like. So that was wrong. But this time you said it right. Jogging is quite different from table tennis, or you could say jogging isn't like.
Jogging isn't like.
Okay. So either of those would be okay. Let's see. Now, so the third question was, do you like to watch sports? Do you like to watch sports? And you, in general, your answer was very good. You gave a logical answer to the question. But just your first sentence, you said, I don't like to something. So the question was, do you like to watch sports? Do you remember, what did you say, Francis?
Oh, I can't, because all the answers just come up.
No problem. All right. So I'll ask you again. So Francis, do you like to watch sports?
Well, actually, I don't like watch sports shows.
Okay, there you go. Right. Okay. So it's not really sports. So you've got two little problems here. So the question was, do you like to watch sports? Your answer was, I don't like to watch, or I don't like watch sports. And you were trying to say shows, but your pronunciation wasn't right. It's not. So you said shoes. What you said sounded like shoes. So the word you were trying to say is shows. Shows.
Shows. Okay. Shows. Sports shows.
But you also shouldn't say that. Okay. So if the question was, do you like to watch sports? Just say, no, I don't like to watch sports. There's no need for the word shows there. Because a sports show, that's just like 一个关于体育的电视节目. So whereas like so that's different. So if we're talking about sports, we're talking about like live sports broadcasting, and like, you know, 直播的体育活动. And so that's not really a show. Like if I watch a football match, I'm not watching a sports show. I'm just watching a football match. I'm just watching sports. Okay. So the best answer to that question, do you like to watch sports? For you, the best answer is no, I don't like to watch sports, or just no, I don't. Okay.
Okay, I got that.
Cool. Right. And maybe one last thing. So I think it was in question 3 or question 4, I don't remember, but you got a little bit stuck, and it was about watching sports. It was question 3, and you wanted to say that you prefer to do sports. You prefer to do sports rather than to watch sports, and you got a little bit stuck for a few seconds, but then you remembered, or you got the words that you needed, and you explained yourself very well. But there's just a word I want to share with you and with everyone that might have been helpful, it might have been useful for you in that situation. So I think if you had said this, it would have expressed what you wanted to say. So watching sports is passive, or is very passive.
Very, very good sentence. Watching sports is very passive.
Yeah, I think.
And I like to take the initiative to play the sports.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah. So I think that's, and you did explain yourself, but I think if you had that word passive, it would have exactly expressed what you meant right at that moment.
Okay.
Probably. Okay. So thanks, Francis. Well done. Good job. Thank you for being our first student. I'm going to turn off her mic now. 还有一件事情就是在口语考试第一部分经常会发生的事情就是考官会问一个问题，考生会回答那个问题，然后考官会问 why， 然后很多时候我觉得也许1/2的时候以上考生听不懂那个 why， 我不知道为什么，但是一直听不懂那个 why， 很多人都听不懂那个 why， 所以你如果准备雅思的话，你应该知道在 Part 1 你很可能提供回答之后会被问 why. Okay. All right. So let's practice this some of these questions with some more people. So I've already got somebody who is ready to talk. I'm just going to turn on your microphone now. Hello, we've got a new person here. Hello.
Hello, could you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can. Yes. What's your name?
My name is Qin Yixuan. You can call me Ada.
Ada, very good. Okay, Ada, I'll just ask you a couple of questions because we've got a few students lined up. So we'll stick with this topic, sports. So Ada, what sports did you play when you were a child?
Well, I played badminton when I was a child, and I played it with my parents actually.
Why?
I didn't know why. I guess it's because playing badminton is a easy sport that we just need 2 rackets, and if my parents are free, or if my parents were free, then we could play it.
Okay. Have you? What's your favorite sport?
Let me think about it. It might be badminton, I think, because I think it easy and it let me relax.
Okay, one more. Do you like to watch sports?
No, I don't, because I couldn't get interest from it, so I don't like it.
Why?
I just thought them boring.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Ada. All right. So Ada, you said some good things there in your answers. So the biggest problem with your answers was that your answer to question 1 and question 3 were both too short. You need to give longer answers, Ada. So 1 sentence is not enough. You've got to give at least maybe 3 or 4 sentences. Does anybody know how, in part 1, how long should you talk for in part 1? I wonder if anybody knows. You can send a message. Send a message in the chat. So在回答一个 part 1的问题的时候，你应该说话多长时间？一般来说，每一个问题应该回答多长时间？So somebody has written 20 seconds, somebody's written 3 to 5 sentences, somebody else has written 10 to 20 seconds. Somebody says maybe 30 seconds. I think, 20 seconds to 30 seconds is about perfect. 20 seconds to 30 seconds. 45 seconds, no, too long, that's too long. Maybe in part 3, you might have a chance to talk for 45 seconds, but in part 1, 20 to 30 seconds is usually the right amount of time. 有一个例外，在第一部分，你被问的第一个和第二个问题应该就是类似 Do you work or are you a student? Do you live in a house or an apartment? 在回答那这个问题的时候，你基本上只要说一句话，I live in an apartment. I am a student. I work. 这样就好。但是在其他部分，你谈论不同的话题，比如说 sports or books or movies 那样话题的时候，应该尽量至少说出3句或者4句话，然后继续说话20秒钟到30秒钟。然后准备的时候，你应该练习那样说，在练习 part 1的时候，应该继续说话20到30秒钟。Okay. So thanks, Ada, and well done. And I still got your microphone open there, Ada, or your microphone on. So I'm just going to talk about one word. So it's a good word. You use this word appropriately. Just your pronunciation wasn't quite right. So it's, you said 2 rackets. But I think you got that word mixed up with rockets. If you're playing badminton, that instrument is a racket. Okay, so it's called a racket. If you're still there, Ada, you can practice that. But if not, it doesn't matter. So the instrument for playing badminton is a racket. All right, let's try another student. So we've got somebody called Sean. Hello, Sean.
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I can hear you clearly. Okay, Sean, let's do another couple of questions on sports. So, Sean, what's your favorite sport?
Oh, well, my favorite sport perhaps is running, because every time I feel so tired, I will choose this sport to relieve my stress and reduce my pressure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you like to watch sports?
Oh, sorry? Watch sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be honest, I don't like to watch sports because actually I have no time to do like these activities, so it's very awkward for me to spend a lot of time to watch TVs and sport games, yeah. So, what I'm trying to say is I have no time to watch sports, but if...
Thank you. Are you a fan of any sports teams?
Perhaps we have some delay.
Okay, no problem. I'll ask again. Are you a fan of any sports teams? Hello. Sean, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, yes, yeah, Sean, I couldn't hear you. So let's try one last time. Okay, one more time. Are you a fan of any sports teams? No, 听不见. Sorry, Sean. Sorry, 我们听不到你说什么. Sorry, Sean. But I still, we heard two of your answers. So sorry, I couldn't hear the third answer, but we heard two of your answers. So okay, pretty good. Your second answer was pretty good, Sean. I just want to talk about one thing. So Sean said, I think he said, I don't like to spend a lot of times to. I don't like to spend a lot of times to. But he didn't, so that's not right. So 他的意思好像就是我不喜欢花费很多时间做，我不喜欢花费很多时间看体育比赛。但是他说的就是 I don't like to spend a lot of times to watch sports。有没有人知道他应该说什么？如果知道的话，可以发消息给我们。所以他的意思就是我不喜欢花费很多时间看体育。所以有一些人写的，但是你们要写的就是完整的句子。我不喜欢花费很多时间看体育比赛和体育活动。So we've got a few people who have entered. Okay, this person excited. I don't want to spend time watching sports. Pretty good. Okay. Very good. Lydia, I don't like to spend too much time. Well, so she said doing sports, but can be side. So it's watching sports. Yeah. So okay. So there it is. Yeah. I don't like to spend a lot of time watching sports. I don't like to spend a lot of time watching sports. That would be the perfect way to say that. Okay. Let's move on. 我们换一个话题。所以第二个话题，我们换到另外一个话题，我也不要告诉大家这个话题是什么，所以第一次听你们都要尽量听懂我说这个问题，因为在考试的时候你看不到那些问题，所以应该练习一下，第一次听就尽量听懂那些问题。So right, so let's try another student. So I just turned on somebody's microphone. Hello, hi. I hear you. Okay. What's your name?
My name is Vince.
Vince. Okay, very good. Cool. Okay, Vince. Your topic is text messages. Texting. Okay. Vince, do you like texting?
Texting. Sorry, I don't like texting because I think it made me very boring, and sometimes I will get a very low mark and my teachers will scold me very strict. So I really don't like texting.
Let me ask that again, Vince. I think you didn't hear it clearly. Do you like
sorry.
Texting?
Texting. No, I don't like texting because I think that it is very boring, and I really don't like it because some of my friends also don't have it, and sometimes they call me that it is very I don't know how to express the meaning of the word, how to express the word, but I know that it means that I really want to follow them.
Okay. Do you prefer sending or receiving text messages?
Sending and no, I don't like it because it takes me much time. For example, I'm not good at typing, and so it costs me very much time, and I have little time to study. So sending message will compile much of my time. So I don't want to send in text.
Have you ever received a confusing text message?
Yes, once about 2 years ago, one of my best friends sent me a message to celebrate my birthday, and I forgot my birthday that day, and I'm very surprised at it.
Okay. In what circumstances is making a phone call better than sending a text message?
Phone call.
Say that again. In what circumstances is making a phone call better than sending a text message?
From my perspective, I think that if I have an urgent message to send to one of my friends and another very important person, and I think that is more convenient to make phone calls instead of sending message.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Vince. So Vince, you had 4 questions. Your answers to questions 2, 3, and 4 were all okay, not bad. Your answer to question 1 and didn't make a lot of sense. So I think the first time you didn't understand it, and I think the second time you understood it, but you still didn't really give a logical answer to the question. So let's go back to question 1 and let's think about what you could say. So the question was, do you like texting? 那个问题是什么意思？中文怎么说？ Do you like texting? Hello, Vince. 你不知道的话，那没问题。但是 texting 就是收发短信，写短信。texting
是收发短信吗？ I misunderstood that sending message. No, I misunderstood it as texting and making some answer some papers.
Okay. Right. Okay. So texting. Right. So let's try that question 1 again. So again, do you like texting?
It depends. I think it depends. For example, if I have very urgent informations or urgent things to tell my friends, I will sending texting. But if I really want to talk with them and just for fun, and I will making telephone calls instead of texting.
Okay, it's better. That's not bad. But I still think in IELTS it's better to try and directly answer the question. So if you get a simple question like, do you like something? The answer should pretty much always be yes or no, either one, yes or no. So yes, I like texting because, or no, I don't like texting because. And so it's better to stick to kind of directly answering the questions as much as possible. But anyway,
but one of my friends.
Yep, go on.
But one of my teachers once told me that sometimes we need to take the message into part and think from different angles instead of told the others about one angle.
Your teacher is probably wrong, or else you just didn't understand what your teacher was saying. So if it's a simple question, look, this question couldn't be more simple. Do you like something? Do you like texting? Do you like tea? Do you like coffee? Do you like books? That could not be more simple. So it's really just all you need to do is just answer. Just answer yes or no, because it's such a simple question. Maybe your teacher was talking about part 3, and maybe in part 3 you've got to kind of analyze things a little bit more because the questions are more difficult. But in part 1, if you just get a simple question like, do you like texting? Do you like reading? Do you like walking? Whatever, just answer. Just answer yes, I like it because, or no, I don't like it because. Is that clear?
No, I don't understand because one of my teachers, for example, one of my teachers talks to me about talking about whether you are patient, and it gave me the sample that from 2 different angles, and I think that this question is also easy. Why it can answer the question from 2 different angles?
Yeah, 我不太清楚你说的具体是哪一个问题，但是不管怎么样，如果问题很简单，然后我也不知道你的老师是谁，你的老师也许是一个非常好的、非常有智慧、有经验的老师，你的老师也许不是一个好的老师，也许一点都不理解雅思考试，但是我知道我做过5年多雅思考官。我训练了好多，我帮助很多人准备雅思，所以 我知道的就是，如果一个问题类似大部分的 Part 1问题就是很简单，你应该就是像母语人一样直接回答。因为如果你在日常生活中，如果你的朋友问你一个很大的你喜不喜欢这件事情，类似那样的问题，你不会觉得我应该从2个方面考虑到这件事情，然后我应该提出一个很深刻的回答。你只会回答他的问题，然后在英语也一样，你只要直接回答被问的那个问题。Okay. Okay. We've talked a lot, Spence. We've talked a lot. I've got to give somebody else a chance, but thank you anyway. All right. And before okay, hold on one second. Yeah.
大家留言有一些问题关于 texting 到底是指发短信还是打字，你看一下。
Okay. 所以有一些人有一些问题，所以就是 texting 是什么意思？所以 texting 原来的意思就是在手机收发短信，在你们记得，也许12年前没有什么即时通讯那样的，就是很普通的短信，那就是 texting 原来的意思。然后现在 texting 也包括微信、WhatsApp 或者任何可以用来发短消息的软件，都是 texting。就是 okay, cool. Let's see. I've got one more question though. Before I go on to the next person. So Vince, at 2 times there, one time he said, "It takes me much time," and another time he said, "It costs me very much time." And it's not. I know what he means, but it's not quite right. 所以他要说的就是那个花费我的很多时间，做那件事情花费我的很多时间。所以有没有人知道应该怎么说？做那件事情花费我很多时间。So if you know how to say that, please write a message. So somebody said it took me much time. Nope, wrong. Sorry, wrong. It wastes my time. 那个是浪费我的很多时间，不太一样。It take me much time. No, wrong. Very good. Excited. Well done. Excited. It takes me a lot of time. Or 如果是过去时态，就是 It took me a lot of time. 我们不可以说 It takes me much time or It costs me much time. 为什么呢？是因为 much 不太可以被用在肯定句子。我们说的就是简单的，我花费很多时间做，或者那个花费我的很多时间。我们不可以说 much time。我们问问题的时候可以问那个花费很多时间吗？就是 Does it take much time？ 如果我们否定，我们说那个花费的时间不多 ，That doesn't take me much time， 那也可以。但是如果我们只要说那个花费很多时间，或者花费我的很多时间，那就是 That takes me a lot of time，not That takes me much time。That takes me a lot of time。OK， 这就是我在之前发布的一个视频课程，中式英语分随机谈论的一个问题，很多人都犯这样的错误。然后在那个课程，我特别的谈论50个最常见的中国人说英语的中国人一直犯的错误。所以那个课程就是中式英语分，不好意思，中式英语分随机或者 Chinglish Buster， 然后你可以在这边在 CC Talk 找到那个课程。Okay, so we'll try one more student for this topic, and then we'll move on to part 2. So one more student. Hello, I've just turned on your microphone there. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Cool. Hello, hi. What's your name?
I'm Violet.
Hi, Violet. Nice to talk to you. Okay, Violet. So same topic. Do you like texting?
Yeah, I do. I do like texting very much because it's a way to communicate with my friends and with people around me. And I think by texting messages to them, it makes our relationship closer, to know what's going on, to keep informed with different kinds of news.
Thank you.
You know.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Do you prefer sending or receiving text messages?
Actually, I prefer receiving messages because receiving messages makes me excited. You don't know what others will text you, and you don't know what is the content of the messages. So it's quite exciting to receive messages rather than sending messages.
Okay. One more. Have you ever received a confusing text message?
Yep. Once when I talked to one of my best friend, she suddenly sent me some really weird messages, which is like she was actually going to send that message to his boyfriend, but he sent it to me mistakenly. So I was kind of confused. What are you talking about? What are you saying? Yeah. And that's
good.
it.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Well done, Violet. Excellent answer. So really, just one mistake I want to highlight, and then a lot of good stuff that I want to talk about. But just near the end there, you said about your friend wanted to send some messages. You said he sent. I think you were talking about your friend's boyfriend.
Is that the...
Yeah, and you said he sent it to me. He sent it to me mistakenly.
Yeah.
Ni mail发现错误吗? He sent it to me mistakenly. So, ni the nigga Yeah, yes.
Yeah, she.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was thinking it was probably she. So yeah, just that one little mistake, Violet. But otherwise, very good, excellent answers throughout.
Thank you.
So I want to highlight a couple of things that Violet said, because she used some good vocabulary there that other people should learn. So the second question was, do you prefer sending or receiving text messages? And Violet said, I prefer receiving text messages because receiving text messages makes me excited. Very good. I'm just writing this for everybody. So that was a good piece of vocabulary. So Violet's pronunciation was really good, really on point, and her fluency was very natural. So she spoke very naturally. It didn't seem like she was struggling to answer these questions at all. So those are very good answers. I'll highlight one other good piece of vocabulary that she used. She said really weird messages. Really weird messages. So weird basically just means strange, but it's another good word that native speakers often use. So and that was very appropriate in that answer. So that's a good piece of vocabulary as well there. So well done, Violet. Okay, thank you.
I've got a question. Can I ask it?
Go ahead, Violet, please.
Like when I talking about the second question, like do you prefer sending or receiving text messages? Well, can I use that? You know, when I'm talking, I sometimes I would like to use like when you receive some messages, but not when I receive some messages. Can I use this term?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can. Yeah, sure. Like let me give an example. So so I could say, for example, you know, when you go to the supermarket and there's a lot of people in the supermarket and you just want to buy milk and too many people. So there, I'm really kind of talking about myself, but I'm still using you. So yeah, you can do that to answer your question. Yeah. In Chinese we do that as well, right? You know, you might say that. And even though you're kind of talking about yourself. So yeah, you absolutely can do that. Yeah, sure.
Okay, got it.
Thank you. Okay, all right, no problem. Okay. 所以呢，有一些人也是想听一个英文母语者回答这样的问题，所以我自己要回答这4个关于说话短线的问题。所以第一个就是 Do you like texting? Generally, no, I hate texting. I think texting is very annoying. I don't like when I'm trying to do my work or I'm trying to do my study and a message pops up on my phone. Also, it's very difficult to write messages or to type out messages on a small screen. It's It's very annoying. I always hit the wrong buttons when I want to type a message. So no, generally I hate texting. Question number 2. Do you prefer sending or receiving text messages? Well, I think I hate both of them, but I think I probably prefer sending text messages to receiving text messages, because at least when I send a text message, I can decide when to do it. Whereas if I receive a text message, I don't have any control over when the message comes. So if I have to send a few messages, I can wait until sometime when I'm not busy, maybe at the end of the day, and I can decide when those messages go out. Whereas receiving text messages, these messages come in all the time, so I don't really like that at all. Question number 3. Have you ever received a confusing text message? Yes, I have received a lot of confusing text messages. I think many of the messages that I receive are confusing, but probably the time when I received the most confusing text messages was when I lived in Indonesia about a year ago or more, because I was a student of the language Indonesian, and in Indonesia people use a lot of shortened forms of words. So a word might have 9 letters, but they'll just use 2 or 3 letters to represent that word. So that was very confusing. Number 4, in what circumstances is making a phone call better than sending a text message? In my opinion, when you're talking to somebody who is quite interesting to talk to and somebody who you want to talk to, it's better to make a phone call. On the other hand, if you're talking to somebody very boring who you don't really want to spend any extra time communicating with, then it's better to send a text message. So the main factor in deciding whether to send a text message or make a phone call, for me, is the person who I'm communicating with. Okay, so a native speaker, or me at least as a native speaker, would answer those questions in a way like that, in some way like that. Okay, 所以我们马上就要开始练习 Part 2，然后我也要给一些学生回答 Part 2问题的机会。但是首先要提醒大家，我们这样的直播，我们每个礼拜1和礼拜4都要举行，所以每个礼拜1的同样的这个时间就是北京时间7点钟，然后礼拜4同样的一个时间，在接下来的2个月左右，我们每个礼拜1和礼拜4提供这些免费的直播课，然后从下个礼拜开始，我也提供小组的英语口语课。所以如果你们在准备雅思，如果你需要我来帮助你听你的英语，让你练习这些最新举办的雅思话题，你可以来参加那些口语课。所以如果有参加的话，就要练习到0。在我们 Learn with John 微信公众号去找 Lin， 然后他可以告诉你如何参加那些小组课。Okay, Part 2. Let's see. So for Part 2, you obviously need 1 minute to prepare. If you're not familiar with IELTS, in Part 2 you get 1 minute to prepare, 1 minute to think about what you want to say, and then you get 2 minutes to talk. So you've got to try and talk for 2 minutes. Today I want to practice 2 different new Part 2 topics. So let's look at those 2 topics, and I'll give everybody a minute to think about what they want to say. So, I'm just getting the topics, 1 second. So our first one is about a decision. There you go. So it's describe a good decision you made recently. Describe a good decision you made recently. And then I'll try and find go and get the other topic. So our second topic is, oh, sorry, they're on top of each other. Our second topic is describe a book that describe a book that you read that you found useful. Okay, so sorry, that looks a bit messy, but I think you'll be able to figure it out. So one is black, one is red. So one is describe a book you read that you found useful. The other one is describe a good decision you made recently. I don't care which one you answer, it's your choice. So whichever one you want to answer, prepare that one. 所以我要给大家1分钟的准备时间，1分钟的时间来准备这些话题。你自己可以选择你想回答其中的哪一个。所以你们准备的时间就现在就开始，有1分钟来准备这两个话题，其中一个。Okay, that's about 1 minute. So let's get another student. So I'm gonna let so in the real exam, you can talk for you have to try and talk for 2 minutes. Here I'll let everybody talk for at least 1 minute or maybe 2 minutes, depends on the time. We've got a lot of people, so I might just let you talk for 1 minute. Anyway, I'll go to my first person. So I just switched on your microphone. Hello, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
Nice to talk to you. What's your name?
You can call me Rebecca. Thank you.
Rebecca, okay.
Yes.
Okay, Rebecca. So which one would you like to talk about? Do you want to talk about the good decision or do you want to talk about the book?
I want to choose the good decision.
Okay, all right. So Rebecca, I'd like you to talk about a good decision you made recently. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Yeah. I'm going to describe a decision that I made like a month ago. That I decided to learn how to swim. Maybe you think it's very easy thing, but I think it's little difficult for me because I have a little phobia with the water, and I think maybe some in my childhood I have some bad memory, and so I decided to overcome that mental problem, and I decided to learn. And I think this is very good decision for me because I think swimming is a very good skills for everyone. Like it can keep everybody a diet and help and keep them healthy. And so I think it's a very good choice. And I just asked for my friends because they all knew how to swim, and they told me and they teach me, and so I learned it. And when I overcome this mental problem, I just received like a sense of achievement because I overcome some difficulties for me, and so I think it's like a sense of fulfillment for me. So, and also I don't.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. Okay. In the exam, you would have to talk a little bit more, but here we don't have much time today, so I'll stop you there. So that was about 1 minute 25 seconds. So well done. You kept talking for 1 minute 25 seconds. Everything you said made sense. It all made sense. I could understand everything you said. It was a logical answer to the question. So the question was about a decision. The answer that you gave was fine. It was very reasonable. So the decision to learn to swim. So generally, very good answer in terms of the ideas that you talked about in terms of the logic. You spoke quite fluently, so that was good as well. Just want to give you 2 or 3 little pieces of advice. So the first one is just pronunciation. So you said, you said this. I have a little this word with the water. So how do you say this word? Do you remember?
Maybe because I can't remember. Yeah,
sure. It should be phobia. Phobia. So yeah, you said phobia. But is there another way, a simpler way you could say that same idea? Because most of the time in English we use the simplest way possible to explain everything when we can. So is there a simpler way you could? So what you said was, I have a little phobia with the water. How could you say that in a more simple way, do you think?
Afraid.
Good. Give me a sentence. Tell me a sentence.
I'm a little afraid of water.
Very good. Excellent. I'm a little afraid of the water.所以那就是一个很完美的表述。然后一般来说，如果有一个英语母语人想表达那个意思的话，我们就会那样说。我们就会说，I'm a little bit afraid of the water, or I'm afraid of water, or something like that. 我们也许会用 phobia， 但是如果你学了一个特别的单词，然后你不一定如何用，你不一定如何发音，然后你也知道一个更简单的表达同样的意思的表述，你要一直用那个更简单的表述，那就是母语人会用的。Okay, so thanks, Rebecca. Maybe one or two more things. You said it can keep. You got mixed up between 2 words here. I think you used the wrong word. You said swimming. You said it can keep everybody diet. It can keep everybody diet. So that's not right.
Keep diet.
No, diet 因为 diet 是跟食物有关，跟你饮食习惯有关。So I know 有没有其他人知道他想用的那个单词？我觉得我知道他想用的那个单词。So not keep everybody diet, but keep everybody. Yep. Okay. Christina is right. So I think Rebecca, did you want to say keep fit? It can keep everybody fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you just got mixed up between diet and fit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So basically, 如果有其他学生不太清楚 diet 和 fit 有什么区别，所以 diet 就是跟你吃的东西有关系，就是你的 diet 就是你的饮食习惯，然后 fit 是另外一个概念 ，fit 就是体力好，就是你身体状态很好。然后我看我们的消息，有个人说 keep healthy， 也可以是跟 keep fit 有差不多一样的意思，但是有一定的区别。就是 keep healthy 就是身体很健康，但是 keep fit 就是跟 healthy 很像，但是也有区别。就是 keep fit， 如果一个人很 fit，if you say somebody's very fit， 那就意味着那个人可以做很多运动，然后他运动可以忍受的运动量很高，所以跟 healthy 有关系，但是不太一样。fit 一直是跟做运动有关系。Okay. So we've got another question from somebody. Somebody asks, shape means fit. Does shape mean fit? No. Shape. Well. Okay. 我给你们提供2个表述。所以第一个就是 to stay in shape, or to keep in shape. 第二个是 to keep fit. 也还是2个意思很像的表述，但是也有区别。所以 to keep in shape 就是保持很瘦或者很精瘦的身材。然后 to keep fit 如我所说就是跟你能做的运动，如果你能做很多运动，然后你比如说你能跑步，然后你会跑步1个多小时都不累，那你就是一个很 fit, you're a fit person. Whereas if you're in good shape, that means 就是你身体看上去很好，就是身体看上去很精瘦的，一点都不胖。Okay. Right. So thank you there, Rebecca. Let's try another student. So I just turned on somebody's microphone. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, what? Yes, I can. Very good. What's your name?
My name is Ruby.
Hi, Ruby. Nice to talk to you. Okay, Ruby. Which one do you want to try? Do you want to try the book one or the decision one?
Decision.
Okay, cool. All right, Ruby. So I'd like you to describe a good decision you made recently. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this. Don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Yes. Well, given this topic, the first decision pop into my mind would be my decision about going to the foreign university. Since I'm just graduated from my university this June, I have to make my choice in the crossroad of my future. I just applied for university last August, but because of the COVID-19, I can't decide whether I just go to work or just delay the education. And just the June, I was very nervous because I found it was a better choice if I can enter the university and to go further study. And just at the evening, I talked to my parents about my decision. At first, I was very nervous, but they really support me and give me a lot of support. I know it might cost a great amount of money, but my parents would always just by my side, and they just hung me out. And so in the end, I just finally made up my mind to continue my further study.
Thank you, Ruby. Okay, thank you. Well done. That was 1.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes. I know you could have talked for longer, but I want to give other people a chance. So well done. All right, Ruby. So that's a good choice of story to talk about. So making a decision to go and study at a university or study abroad or whatever. That's a good example of something you can talk about for this topic. So it was a good logical answer. Good. Decent level of fluency, so you were able to keep going for 90 seconds there, and I think you could have kept going for 2 minutes if I'd let you. So well done there. I want to just talk about maybe two little tips or 2 little corrections.
Okay.
So the first one, right? So at the start, I'm gonna. So at the start, you were talking about the decision. You said the first decision popped into my mind.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people use this expression at the beginning, but I don't recommend. I don't recommend it. So you said the first, because most people, when they use this expression, they do it wrong.
Okay.
The first decision popped into my mind. Now, what you wanted to say, what you were trying to say is the first decision that popped. Is or was, or even either that popped into my mind or that pops into my mind. Either one is okay. So the first decision that popped into my mind is or was. So that's what you were trying to say. And almost everybody, when they try to use this expression, they almost always get it wrong. Okay. Well, so 我不知道Ruby 你是不是关注我 Billy， 因为我在 Billy 已经发布了一个特别关于这个话题的视频，所以有没有其他人看了那个视频？然后如果你看了，你应该已经知道我是如何推荐开始第2部分，在雅思口语 Part 2， 你说出的第1句话应该是什么？有没有人知道？有人知道的话可以写给我看。And so as I was saying, Ruby, a lot of people try to use this, and a lot of people make the same mistake. So Sean, very good, Sean. Sean, you're a good fan. So Sean knows what I'm talking about here. So at the beginning of Part 2, the best thing you can say is just, I would like to talk about. I would like to talk about, or I am going to talk about. Thank you, somebody else. I'm going to talk about. So I would like to talk about, or I am going to talk about. So here, for example, I would like to talk about a decision, or I am going to talk about a decision, because it's simple. You're not going to make a mistake. It's what a native speaker would say, and you can use it for every topic. So that's much better than this one about stuff popping into your mind, because everybody always gets that wrong. All right. So that's one thing, Ruby.
All right.
And let's see, one more. So at one time you said the Corona-19. The Corona-19. So there you got mixed up between two different expressions. So everybody knows what you mean, but how do you say? Can you remember in English, how do you say Guanzhongbingdu? How do you say that?
COVID-19.
Very good. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Yeah, because of COVID-19.
I was nervous and forget.
Okay. Yeah. No. Don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah. So everybody would know what you meant, but it's just not quite right. So yeah, COVID-19. Or what's the other one? What's the other way to say that?
Virus.
The coronavirus. The coronavirus. So because of the coronavirus or because of COVID-19, either of those would be okay. Okay. Well done, Ruby. Good job. Good job. Thank you. I'm going to get another student now. Hello. I've just turned on somebody's mic. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. What's your name?
My name is Lisha.
I can barely hear you. I'm not sure if it's a problem with your microphone. Hello? Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear
Okay, that's a bit better. I think that's a bit better. Okay. What's your name?
My name is Lisha.
Okay, cool. You don't have an English name?
No, I don't have.
Okay, no problem.
I'm sorry.
No problem.但是我推荐你考雅思之前，应该这个英文名字。其实，在雅思也不是特别重要，你也可以用你的中文名字。但是，就是在我经验中，最好我遇到的最好的英语学生都起英文名字。所以，一般来说，如果我认识一个一直用他的中文名字的英语学生，他一般来说就是外国朋友不是很多，口语他没有做过很多口语练习，然后一般来说或者平均来说，那些不起英文名字的学生的水平比起过英文名字的学生的水平低，一般来说，所以我不知道，但是我推荐所有学习英语的中国人都起一个英文名字。Okay. So anyway, Li Shuang, so which one would you like to talk about, the book or the decision? Everybody wants to talk about the decision. I'll talk about the book later, so it's okay. You can talk about the decision. So
I actually don't have much to say about this topic. I think my answer might be brave because I don't know what to say.
Well,
because recently
Are you going to take the IELTS test, Li Shuang? Are you going to take the test?
I'm going to take the test, but this is the first time I start to practice my oral English, so I didn't quite go through all the topics.
You don't need to go through all the topics. You don't need to go. You just need to be a good student of English who listens to a lot of English, reads a lot of English, and can speak. That's all you need to do to do well in the IELTS test. So even though you haven't prepared this topic, it doesn't matter. It's an easy topic. You should be able to talk for at least 1 or 2 minutes about this topic. Okay. So here's your challenge, Li Shuang. You got to try your best. All right. So now I'd like you to talk about a good decision that you made recently. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Yes. I think one of the good decisions I have made recently is actually in the last year winter. I decided to apply for an exchange semester to Europe in Austria because I have never been abroad before, and I'm also a little concerned about my English level because I need to get good score and get credit in that university too. So I got a lot of pressure about this exchange semester thing, but one of the important things is that in the January or February, I don't remember, that's when the coronavirus start to hit Europe. And my family or my friends, they start to persuade me not to go abroad because it's so dangerous and all the city is locked down. And it's really difficult for me to take the flight to, all the flight I have reserved is being cancelled many times. And but I really want to go abroad, and that is the last chance I can apply for an exchange semester in my university time. So
thank you, thank you, Li Shuang. Thank you. Well done. Okay, good job. So there you talked for 1 minute and 40 seconds. So you were definitely going to be able to do 2 minutes. So well done. And you used a lot of good English in your answer. You had a lot of sentences that had no errors, a lot of error-free sentences. So that was well done. So I think you should be able to do well in the IELTS exam. You don't even need to spend a lot of time preparing topics. Just need to practice speaking a little bit more and keep listening to English, keep reading English every day, and I think you should be able to do fine in the exam. Just a couple of comments about your answer. So it was a pretty logical answer, but you didn't really, so you explained what the decision was about going abroad to study, but I think you didn't really go into perhaps enough detail about the decision. So I still don't understand, did you actually go abroad or not, or are you going abroad in the future? So I'm confused. So maybe you should have just kind of gotten to the point a little bit earlier with that. But that's just a small thing. Generally, the English that you produced was pretty good. Just a couple of corrections. So you about when. So when you made the decision, you said it was in the January or February. In the January or February. So that's not quite right. Do you know how to say that?
Oh, in January and February.
So you take EUFN or RUFN. How would you say that in English?
In either
sure.
Either February or January.
So yeah, it's not the January. There's not the. So say EUFN或者RUFN 就是 in January or February. In January or February, not the, just in January or February. And I want to talk about. I want to share with everybody a good word that Li Shuang used there. So she was talking about her parents, and she said her parents tried to persuade her. So they tried to persuade me. So that's a very good word. Well done. So that basically means 说服or 说服，他们尝试说服我不要做。So well done. That was a good word. So your vocabulary seems pretty big, and you are able to produce sentences. You're able to put together full grammatically correct sentences. So well done, Li Shuang. Good job, and thank you for your answer. Okay, so I want to do. So we're it's already 8:10 in China. So I want to practice some part 3 as well, and I also want to do a little bit of practice of that book, the book one. So I'm going to answer the book one myself, so that you guys can hear a native speaker talk about these topics. So I'll answer the book one. I've actually recorded this answer already, so I'm going to play the answer that I recorded earlier, and you guys can listen to it. And I'm going to actually talk about a couple of the expressions that I use in the answer. Let's see. So here is the topic again. There's the topic, right? And here is what I would say if I was asked about this topic. I'm going to talk about a book that I read a few years ago, written by a guy called Cal Newport, and the book is called Deep Work. I read that book a few years, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it really helped me to improve the efficiency of my work and to improve my level of concentration when I work or study. There are a lot of interesting ideas in the book, but one of the most important ideas is that Cal Newport believes that if you can really work in a highly concentrated state for 3 or 4 hours a day, you can achieve very much in your study or in your work or in your life in general. And he believes that really working in a focused way for 3 or 4 hours is much more useful than kind of working in a distracted way for 8 or 10 hours. So he says in the book that it's extremely important to avoid distraction when you're working. It's even important to avoid distraction in the period of time before you start working. So for example, he believes that when you're getting ready to start working, you shouldn't check your email before you start working. You shouldn't check your messages on your phone before you start working. Because if you do those things, when you start your work, part of your brain will be still thinking about the information that you saw when you checked your email, or the information that you saw when you checked your social media or whatever. Obviously, he also recommends not having your social media open when you are working and not checking your phone ever when you are working. Just completely try and get into a state of focus and try and remain in that focus state for a period of about maybe 90 minutes or 2 hours. And then maybe you can take a break. But in total, try and do 3 or 4 hours of work every day. And after you finish that, just try and relax and don't think about your work. Okay, so there was my answer. I wonder, has anybody heard of that book? Has anybody heard of that book that I talked about? So if anybody heard the name and knows the name of the book, please write the name of the book. I want to see if anybody has heard of it or anybody picked out the name from the audio. What book was I talking about? 所以在那个语言，我谈论的书的名字是什么？我谈论的是哪一本书？有没有人知道？ Oh, maybe nobody knows. Okay, I better. Oh, yes, Maggie, thank you. Well done, Maggie. Yeah. So the book is called Deep Work. Deep Work, and it's written by an American guy called Cal Newport. So well done, Maggie, and good listening there. Yeah, Deep Work. Okay. So did anybody hear? I think I said in the audio. I think I said when I read it. Did anybody hear that? Did anybody hear when I said I read the book? Nobody. I'm pretty sure I said it pretty early in my answer. So I think I said I read the book about 5 years ago. Yeah. So there, some people got it. Well done. 4 to 5 years ago. Good listening, Ray and Sangwis or whoever that is. So well done. And let's see. Yeah, very. Yeah. So there it is. So yeah. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple of the expressions that I use there because these might be useful expressions for you guys to learn. So the first one is to improve so the book, it helps to improve my level of concentration. So my level of concentration, 那就是基本上就是我的注意力。所以看那本书帮助我提高注意力。So it helped me to improve my level of concentration. Also, I said the author talks about how important it is to avoid distraction. So distraction 就是分心 or 分散。So 避免分散 就是 to avoid distraction. That's another useful expression, I think. And finally, to check social media. So in English, we can say check your text messages. We can say check your email, and we can also say check social media. So social media 就是社交媒体 or 社交软件. Okay. Right. So let's move on to part 3, and we've got a lot of people who are waiting for their opportunities to talk. So I'll try and get at least a few more people some opportunities. So in part 3, we're going to be talking about the same topics. So the one topic about decisions, one topic about books.
Hi,
And I've got a new student here. Hello. Hi. What's your name?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay.
What's your name?
You can call me Lily.
Cool, Lily. Okay, great. So Lily, I'm going to ask you the questions about books, all right? So if you want this topic, sorry, this is the trouble with IELTS. You don't get to choose your topics, really. So so we'll imagine that you've just finished your task 2 on books. You've talked for 2 minutes about books, and now your examiner would say, and now I'd like to ask you some general questions related to books. What types of books are most popular among young people in your country?
Among my people, my country?
Yeah, what types of books are most popular among young people in your country?
For young people. I think actually I'm not a fan of books, so I'm not sure about this. Maybe comic books, I think.
Why?
Because it's relaxing and it can give young people more imagination.
What are some of Thank you. What are some of the differences between the reading habits of old people and young people in your country?
Well, I think old people's books are old, and they are very complex. I'm sorry. Complex than the books that young people read. And I'm sorry,
do children who read a lot of books generally go on to become successful in their lives?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that?
Yep. Do children who read a lot of books generally go on to become successful people?
Yeah, I think they will, because you can always find some successful experience of other people in books. So when children read those books, they can receive the knowledge. Like I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that.
Okay. Thank you. All right, thanks, Lily. All right, Lily. So yeah, that was a little bit of a struggle. I know that was a little bit difficult, but you did okay. Especially in questions 2 and 3. The second question and the third question, you did okay. At least you got out some language, and you generally kind of expressed an idea that answered the questions. Question 1 was difficult. Question 1 was difficult, or you struggled a lot with question 1. So in IELTS, sometimes you'll get a topic that you don't know much about. I think books is a pretty simple topic, Lily. So even if you never read books, you should have at least some vague ideas about books. If you don't read books, I'm sure you know lots of people who read books, because lots of people do read books. So you don't have to know very much about
textbooks. Can I describe a textbook?
So let's look at the first question, Lily. Can you see the first question on your screen? Can you see that question?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at that question. What types of books are most popular among young people in your country? So what does that question mean? 中文在中文那个问题有什么意思？
就是什么样的书在我的国家年轻人里更受欢迎？
Yeah, very good. Okay. No, I'm pretty sure popular and 受欢迎 are pretty much the same. They're almost the same, but definitely popular. It just means that a lot of people do it, or a lot of people read it in this case, and also they like it. So they do it and they like that thing. So for example, basketball is popular in China. A lot of people play basketball. A lot of people like basketball. It's popular. Now, what about textbooks? Do people like textbooks?
No.
Not really. No. A lot of people read them.
Really.
You can't really say they're popular. They're not really popular.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think talking about textbooks would be a good idea. So if you want like specific ideas, so comic books, that's a fine idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. You could talk about like like teenage romance books. They're very popular among young people. Romantic books and romantic novels in general are very popular among young people. Books about science fiction or science fiction books. Science fiction books are very popular. So yeah, those are some examples of popular books among young people. Maybe also biographies of famous celebrities would be another type of book that's popular among young people. So when you get this kind of question, it's good to try and think of maybe at least two or three examples, and then just briefly explain those examples would be the best way to do it. I know you're
okay.
I know you kind of got caught by surprise maybe with this topic, but that can happen in the exam. And even if it's not a topic that you feel comfortable with, you've got to just come out with, you've got to just make the words come out. You know, you've got to do something to.
You know what? You know what? I think my biggest problem is that I have those ideas, but I just can't express them in English. Maybe just limited.
So how often do you practice speaking to other people, Lily?
Maybe several minutes a day.
To who? Who do you speak to?
No one. I'm sorry.
You don't practice speaking. So yeah, 你没多久跟其他人说英语，你没多久。
我没有机会跟别人说，只有自己说。
所以 OK， 所以你现在就跟我说话。上一次你跟一个老外讲英语是什么时候
？Last time, maybe 2 years ago.
Okay,
2 years ago.
Okay. So yeah, so that's your problem, Lily. You know, that's your problem. If you want to do the IELTS test, it's a test of your ability to speak to other people, to speak to your examiner. One of the things you need to do is to practice speaking to the examiner. It's like, practice speaking to other people. Practice having one-to-one conversations. So you really, really need to do that, Lily, before you take the exam. Before you take the exam, you need to do like at least 50 hours or maybe 100 hours of speaking practice with another person. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
But anyway, thank you for your advice.
Thanks for your answers anyway. Okay, thanks. Let's do one more student on this topic. So I've just switched on another microphone.
Hi.
Hello. Is your name Lulu, or do you have another name?
Yes, my Chinese name is Lulu, and I have another English name. My name is Lucilla.
Lucia. Okay.
Oh, right. Yes, Lucia.
Okay, cool. All right, Lucia. So let's do the same question. So, what types of books are most popular among young people in your country?
I think the romantic novels is most popular books in my country, especially in among young people.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because in that kind of books, they will describe a very romantic love story, and they have a good relation with their lovers, and maybe they can show how to spend the time with them, and how to describe the problems when they miss something, and they will.
Thank you. Okay. What are some of the differences between the reading habits of old people and young people in your country?
Actually, I think, especially for old people, they have a lot of experience in life, and maybe they are always focus on the instant news about our country or other country about this world. they will focus on the latest news. And for young people, for me, we all focus on something news like how can we improve ourselves, and some news like related to us. I think the difference with the old people and the young people.
Thank you. Do children who read a lot of books generally go on to be successful in life?
I think that has a little bit reason to succeed in the future for the people who love reading, but I think it's not equal reason.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Thank you. Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because reading just can enrich our horizon for our life, and maybe you can learn something from the book. But the life always change. You can't meet the same thing in your future. You just can learn something, maybe experience. But if you miss something, you should have your idea to solve this problem, or you should have creative to make your own future, and not that people who made it.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Lucia. So let's see. Well done on your second answer. So your answer to question number 2 was good. Was quite good. Number 1 and number 3, okay, and you need to improve those probably. But number 2 was very good. So the problem with number 1, actually number 1 was pretty good. Your answer was pretty good. Just the one thing I would tell you about improving it was, so the question was, what types of books are most popular among young people in your country? And you just gave one example, which was romantic novels. And that's fine, that's a good example, but you should, because the question is, what types of books? So it's not just one type, it's what types of books. So it would have been better to give another 1 or 2 examples, and in total give 2 or 3, maybe 3 examples in total, or at least 2 examples in total. And then after you had given those 2 or 3 examples, then you could explain why they like romantic novels. You could say, so let me see what you could say. So the question, what types of books are most popular among young people in your country? You could say, well, I think books like comic books and romantic novels and sci-fi books are probably among the most popular types of books for young people in my country. They like romantic novels because something, and that would be enough, But try, so for that kind of question, try and give more than one example, more than one specific example. Then your second, as I said, your second question was, your second answer was very good. There was one good expression that I wanted to share with everyone. So you said about young people, you said how we are more likely to read some news related to us, or I think it might be even better to say related to ourselves, but that was still a good expression. So some news related to us, or you could say some news related to ourselves. So that was good. And then question 3. So the first thing you said didn't make much sense. So the question was, do children who read a lot of books generally go on to be successful in life? And your answer was, I think that has a little bit reason that they are successful, but not equal reason. So I guess you're kind of trying to say,
Yes, it's a part of the reason.
Very good, well done. Yeah, so that's what you should have said. So I think that's part of the reason. And then you said, but not equal reason. I don't know what you meant by equal there, but not. So
how to say? Yeah, it's just say a part of the reason.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So I guess if we could put what you're trying to say into a full sentence, I guess it would be, I think that's part of the reason, but it's not the whole reason, or it's not the full reason. I'll write that for everybody. I think that's part of the reason, but it's not the whole reason, or it's not the full reason. I guess that's what you're trying to say. And then one last thing, Lucia, you used an expression there that we can't use in English. You said it can read. I think you said reading books can enrich our horizon. Enrich our horizon. And so that's definitely like a Chinglish expression that is a typical thing that you would say in Chinese, but something that we would never say in English. And so what were you? I think you were probably thinking of a Chinese expression there. What expression were you thinking of there? Something like 充分, or
充分.
Yes, 充分 what?
I don't know what it means to say.
Yeah. You said reading books can enrich our horizon. I don't know what you meant. What did you mean?
我的意思是说，就是呢，有更打开自己的知识面。It liked.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to kind of translate that into English, but I think what a native speaker might say is something simple, like we can learn a lot about. We can learn a lot from reading books, or we can learn a lot about the world from reading books. I know that's completely different from what you would say in Chinese, but English is completely different from Chinese, so that's just what an English speaker might say. From reading books, we can learn a lot about the world. We can learn a lot about the world. Lots of people are saying broaden horizon. I'm looking at the chat. Lots of people are saying broaden our horizon, broaden your horizon. That's okay. That is an expression. That is an expression in English, but don't use it. Don't use it in IELTS. Chinese students use it all the time and use it too much, and IELTS examiners don't like that expression. So broaden your horizon, like 扩大眼界，但是就是太多考雅思的中国人用那个表达，然后母语人没有那么频繁用 broaden your horizons， 所以最好不要用，最好的就是类似 we can learn a lot about the world, or books can teach us a lot about the world, or we can get a lot of knowledge. Even we can get a lot of knowledge from books. 所以不要用 broaden your horizons. 即使英语，虽然英语用那个 broaden your horizons 那个表述，在雅思口语不要用，最好不要用。Okay. All right. Let's do one more student. So thank you. Yeah. Good job. All right. Okay. We've got one more student coming up. Hello. Let's see.
Hi.
Yeah, your mic just came on. Hello again. Yeah. Hi. Hello. What's your name?
My name is Alex.
Hi, Alex. Nice to talk to you. Okay, Alex. Same questions. So what types of books are most popular among young people in your country?
Well, I would say there's certain kinds of book that is very popular among young generation. And I guess the main one is probably the novel. And there's all kinds of genre of the book, novel, like time traveling, which is quite popular amongst young girl, I would say. Things like and some books that could be made into a film or TV shows could be popular nowadays.
Thank you. What are some of the differences between the reading habits of old people and young people in your country?
Certainly there's some major differences between them, and the one I guess probably old people are closely attached to those paper book, and as opposite to young generation, which most of them are access to those ebook and electronic book. Yeah.
Okay. Do children who read a lot of books generally go on to be successful in life?
I think this question is a bit ambiguous and it's hard to give a specific answer. I would say we couldn't.
In general.
In general, okay. I don't think so, because we cannot judge someone or everyone from his academic achievement or academic performance or whatever, how many books they have read in their life.
In general.
Maybe it's so hard to make a general expression on this one. Sorry.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. Okay, Alex.
Thanks.
Pretty good. I'm sure. So I've heard you talking there for like 2 minutes. I'm sure you're at a decent level of English. So your English is.
Thank you so much.
Confident. You express yourself quite fluently. You've got a good vocabulary. I'm going to talk about 1 or 2 of the good expressions that you use. So I'm sure you're at a good level of English. Your first 2 answers were both very good first 2 answers. Third answer, no, not so good. So I'm gonna mainly talk about the third answer just to help people avoid making the same mistake, right? Yeah. So the question was, do children who read a lot of books generally go on to be successful in life? And you said, I think this question is a bit ambiguous, and I can't remember what you said. It's hard to, I can't remember, but you didn't answer the question. So, Alex, everybody at home, everybody who's watching this, there's 399 people supposedly watching this live class. If you're taking IELTS, if you get asked a question, you will get asked a question. You get asked lots of questions. Answer the questions. Answer the questions. Answer them directly. Don't say the question is ambiguous. Don't say I haven't thought about it before. Don't say it's difficult to say or anything like that. Answer the question. So this question, actually, it's not really ambiguous, Alex. It's quite clear, you know, because especially when it has the word general. It has generally in that word. And when I was asking you follow-up questions, they asked, like, in general. So of course, in life, some children who never read books go on to be successful. Some children who read lots of books go on to be complete failures, and they're not successful. But here we're talking about in general. We're just talking about, you know, is it more likely that you'll be famous if you are, sorry, not famous, successful, if you'll be successful if you read a lot of books, or is it less likely, or does it make any difference? Okay, so you said a lot of sentences to kind of respond to the question, but you didn't really answer the question, and it's always a good idea, and I'll try and directly answer the question. Okay, like for example, you said we cannot judge someone from their education. That's true, but that's not the question. It's not, their question isn't really anything to do with their education. The question is just about whether they've read a lot of books, okay? Whether they've read a lot of books and as a child, and will that make them successful? But so I just wanted to share that with everybody. But your first 2 answers were very good. I want to highlight an expression that you used in your first answer that was a good expression for people to learn. So you talked about books that can be books that can be made into films. So that's a very good expression, to make a book that's made into a film, to make a book into a film. So not a lot of students know how to express that idea, but you expressed that idea very well, perfectly there, Alex. Well done. Just one kind of vocabulary thing. A couple of times you used young generation or young generations. That's okay. It's not a mistake, but native speakers would rarely say that. It's not wrong, but just in general conversation, we wouldn't use young generations as much as Chinese students of English use it. So we just say young people or younger people or people under 30 or whatever, anything like that. Okay. All right. So okay, thank you, Alex. Well done. All right.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Nice to talk to you. Okay. So.所以对不起大家，有很多人都想参加今天的课，然后我都没有足够的时间跟你们多说话。但是礼拜四还有类似的直播，在礼拜四的直播，我们也会练习和谈论一些刚刚举办的雅思话题。另外，我们 Learn with John 从下个礼拜开始也提供几个小组的雅思口语课，所以如果你要跟我一起每个礼拜跟我一起练习英语，然后要听我对雅思口语考试的意见，然后就是基本上让我帮助你提高你的雅思口语水平和雅思口语分数，你可以来参加那些 小组课。如何参加呢？就是加我的微信公众号 Learn with John， 然后联系Lin。OK， 没有什么问题吗？没有。OK， 如果有任何人有一个具体的问题，我可以回答一个或者也许2个问题。如果有任何关于雅思，特别是关于雅思口语的问题，也许没有吧。已经很晚，大家都累。
有一个调查问卷，
我听。可以问一下 ，It depends on something， 真的不能用啊。Yeah， 所以我在哔哩哔哩有一个关于那个话题的视频，就是在口语考试第3部分，最好不要用 It depends，It depends， 回答说，但是 It depends on something， 那个 It depends on something 也可以用。我在哔哩哔哩的那个视频，我说在 Part 3， 在口语考试 Part 3。很多考生他们被问任何一个问题，他们都会用 It depends 回答。然后我推荐不要用 It depends 开始你的 Part 3 回答。但是在说话的过程中，如果你想说，比如说拿去介于某一件事情，比如说，it depends on, for example, it depends on the kind of educational background that a person has。那是可以的。但是我在那个视频的重点就是在开始那个 Part 3 回答的时候，不要说 It depends， 因为很多人无论他们被问什么问题，他们都会用 It depends 开始他们的回答，然后考官很讨厌那样回答，考官超级喜欢直接的回答。OK， 所以那就是今天的直播，我们礼拜4再见吧，谢谢大家参加。等一下 ，Lin 有跟我说什么？
请大家填写调查表。
什么调查表？
我刚刚发了一个。
OK，Lin 刚刚说他发了一个链接，有某一种类型的调查表，所以调查表，所以有时间的话可以去按那个链接，然后填一下那个表。谢谢大家，下次再见，拜拜。